Hello, everyone. I'm Bridgette Clarke of the Miss Honey Bee Show, and today's guest is...
Hi, I'm Tom Browne.
Hello, Mr. Browne. Welcome.
Thank you. My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Yes, and I'm glad to have you. So please tell everyone who you are.
Well, sometimes I ask that question myself. I'm a jazz trumpet player. Had a couple of hit records out, and I'm presently putting out singles in the realm of smooth jazz. So I'm keeping busy touring and recording.
Very nice, yes. And the number one Billboard song, that's definitely, yes, Funkin for Jamaica to be exact. Yes. Congratulations. I still love that song.
Thank you.
Yes. So what have you been doing since you made that hit?
Going through transition. The music business is so much different than it used to be. Obviously, radio has changed. The whole way that you play the game has changed. So I'm trying to, at 71 years old, I'm trying to keep up with it, keep the transition going.
Wow, you look great. I wouldn't have never thought. Yes.
I feel it. I feel it in every joint. Believe me.
So, are you exercising? What do you do to yourself? You look great.
I just walk with my wife. We do a lot of walking. Just trying to think young, mainly. Just I think the music helps. Just getting out there with some of my friends and some of my colleagues that play this music. And if I didn't have God in my life and music in my life, I would probably look every bit of 71, if not older.
Amen. That's right. We give the credit to him always. Yes. Right. So, what are you working on currently? Tours?
Yeah, I just put out a single not too long ago called Elemental. That's done pretty well on the charts. But we've got several tours that are packaging. I came back from a show I did with Walter Beasley recently, with Najee recently. Just keeping busy, going on the road, gearing up for 2026. Where there's supposedly a lot of things going on.
Very nice, yes. A lot of heavy hitters, including yourself. It's going to be a great show, most definitely. Yeah. Yes. So outside of working with them, who else have you worked with?
In the past, Bob James, George Benson, Dave Grusin, did years recording with Dave Grusin. But Bob James on live gigs. We did some recording with Joe Sample. There's quite a few people. I mean, if I actually look back at the people that I've been associated with, I'm in awe because they're all heroes of mine. It keeps me kind of humble because that's the level I'm trying to aspire to. I don't feel I've gotten there yet, but some great musicians that are around me.
So I know that it would be hard to choose to say which one would be their favorite, but if you had to say if you could do it on a regular, who would you work with?
Probably George Benson. George was there when I first started recording. In fact, his first manager was my first manager as well, and when we met him in a central spot in New York City. So probably George. I mean, George is a great guy.
Yes, beautiful music. Yes, I love his music as well. So what is your passion when it comes to your music?
Well, that's the funny thing. George actually made a comment years ago that said he believes that I'm believable in any style. I came up I actually studied classical, but I came up as a bebop trumpet player, and here I am playing smooth jazz. So I don't know. I just try to adapt into whatever's contemporary, whatever's happening. I'd like to play bebop trumpet, along the lines of Clifford Brown or Lee Morgan, but it's hard to make a living at that today. So I just morph into whatever's happening.
You said get in where you fit in, huh? Yes. So as far as these younger artists out here today, is there any particular person that you would like to work with? Or maybe someone that's gone?
Well, there's a couple. There's one young guitarist coming up that's very promising. I like Lemek Israel is killing it on the smooth jazz chart. but most of the guys I know are my age or maybe a little bit younger than me, and that's the range I'm most comfortable with.
Okay. So I know you remember Tupac and Biggie. Would you have worked with them?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Would you have worked with Tupac or Biggie?
I've never met them.
That was the rap. Well, I understand, but that was the rap era.
Yeah.
So would you see yourself combining any of your music with rap?
Well, the funny thing is, hip hop, rap, and jazz are all kind of intertwined and interrelated. A lot of jazz artists are very, I'm not into rapping. A lot of the rappers, there's some jazz artists that look at rappers like all they're doing is swinging with words. I mean, the way they approach things is the same way jazz artists approach things. So I probably could. It's not my comfort zone, but I mean, I could definitely dig the fact that they're doing something that's contemporary with people. It's keeping up with it's relating to the times the same way jazz was relating to the times when it was first coming about. So I could kind of dig that.
That's right. So with all of your travel that you've done all over the world, is there a particular area, or should I say, like, do you like working within the United States, or would you say that your crowd is the biggest outside?
My crowd is the biggest outside the United States, definitely. Every time I go to Europe, I find that the European audience tends to treasure not only what's happening now, but whatever groundwork you put down. So, I mean, I'll go over there and they'll want to hear stuff from 20, 30, 35 years ago. It's like, oh, we love that. Couldn't play that. The audience here is very nouveau. If it's not contemporary, if it's not in the last 2 or 3 years, it's hard to be recognized. So I mean, different tastes to different folks, but I find it's much easier for me to work with the European audience.
Okay, so would you consider moving there then, if that were to be the case?
I'm waiting to see what Donald Trump does over the next. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Yeah, I would consider it. I mean, honestly, my wife's from Dominican Republic. I would, depending on what happens, consider moving more to the Caribbean than I would. Again, just older years, just enjoying life more. Being more in home culture. I'd probably do that before I'd move to Europe, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on politics these days, to say the least.
Yes, I understand. I think a lot of us are looking towards somewhere tropical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So where do you see yourself long term? Just
well, my wife asked me once, when do you plan on retiring from music? That's a question you never ask a musician. When I die, that's when I plan on retiring from music.
Exactly.
Ella Fitzgerald was singing her heart out till the day that she passed on. That's one of the things, as I mentioned earlier, I think that's one of the things that keeps a musician going and keeps them vibrant. So I mean, I hope to be doing this, just like Herb Alpert is doing with his wife Lottie. I hope to be doing this into my 80s and 90s if I'm still around.
Yes, it would be truly a blessing. Yes.
Yep.
Now, what would you say throughout just your life journey that anything that you've been through has actually kept you through it? What got you through some of the darkest or roughest times in your life?
Well, I guess the early 80s, the 79, I signed the record deal. The early 80s were great because, financially and hit records and everything, everything looked great on the horizon. I'm blessed to have a wife that stuck with me through, just like the vow said, through thick and thin when times weren't financially rewarding. Actually, when we had $5 in our pocket, in the mid '80s. But more than that, just honestly finding Christ back in 1983 when I gave my heart to the Lord. Really was a turning point in my life, because it was a matter of learning from where comes my salvation, from where comes my strength, what's the more important thing in life. If I go on stage today and play a great concert, but people walk out of that feeling, okay, it was a great concert, but I feel just as empty as I did when I came in. I didn't internally gain anything. I mean, I got entertained, but I didn't. Then my purpose is kind of blank, isn't it? I think people really need to feel a connection. They need to feel that there's more to you than just your music. I get asked a lot, what do you do? Aren't you a musician? I said, well, that's what I do, but that's not who I'm sorry.
Not who you are.
Who are you?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm not a trumpet player. My being is not a trumpet player. My being is not a musician. My being is being a person on this earth that's trying to pass along a message, to maybe help somebody else or somebody else. What I do is I play trumpet, and what I do is my music, and that's a different viewpoint. I know a lot of musician friends of mine don't particularly care for that viewpoint, but that kind of lets you have a life where, hey, whatever happens, happens. I mean, if God is good regardless of what happens, and if I play tomorrow, great. I'd like to keep playing, but if I don't, I'll be all right. If a situation comes, I'll be okay, because God is still good.
That's right. Yes. So with that being said, now, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as someone that is like this big entertainer, musician, or are you just a regular, genuine person down to earth? How would you describe yourself?
I tried to be genuine. I'm not trying to be a star. I'm not trying to be a big entertainer. That first of all, that ship sailed a long time ago. Secondly, my wife told me that if I ever got a big head, she'd put her size 9 boot where the sun doesn't shine. So that kept me kind of calm years ago. No, I'm looking to have some fun on stage. I'm looking to make a living, provide for my family. My kids are all grown, so it's just my wife and I now. And as long as I can pay the bills and keep a roof over our head, that's what keeps me satisfied. I guess the best education I got in that was from Roy Ayers. I toured with Roy for a bunch of years, and Roy taught me just how to have fun on stage. Go out and just have fun, and if the audience sees you having fun, they have fun. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to be a big star or anything. That's not where my head is at all.
Okay. So now with what you've done, and just like you said, you're not trying to be a big star, but you just want to live and do what you love and continue that.
Yep.
So when it's all said and done, what would you like to leave behind that people will remember, even your children, because we all want to leave that legacy?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to leave a mark that is relatable to people. I'd like to leave a mark that says, hey, we heard his trumpet, but we related to him more as a human being, as a person. I mean, there are so many people that I guess if you look at someone like Mother Teresa, okay, who you may have seen her, but you know more that she's a tremendous human being. What she did for people who were poor, or people who were in need, or people who were destitute. That's more of a lasting legacy, or more of a mark that you'll hear. Well done. for more than playing trumpet. So many obituaries read, God called him home, and he must be playing trumpet or singing with that heavenly choir. I can assure you, God has all the musicians and the best musicians in the universe are already sitting beside the throne praising God. He doesn't need Tom Browne playing trumpet. What he needs is Tom Browne drawing more people to him. And so that's the legacy you want to leave. I mean, you don't want to leave this place a number one trumpet player, but a despicable human being. I mean, that's
right.
That's
exactly. Not good. Yes, I understand, and I agree.
Yeah.
So now, where do you see yourself in just like here in the next year? What do you plan on doing as far as just your career? You playing your instruments? Are you trying to like add to it as far as anything else? Any other instruments?
Well, I'm definitely packaging with other musicians. It seems like these days, as the jazz market gets smaller and smaller, I mean, the jazz market makes up maybe 1% of, if that, of the total music industry. It's a very small niche market. You don't make a huge bunch of money selling records. You don't even sell many records anymore at all. So it's got to be for the joy. And I think as the market shrinks, if packaging, getting together with other musicians and presenting that package. So instead of just one artist going out on tours, it's Tom and maybe Ronnie Laws or with Najee, so that kind of package together has more impact for what the promoter has to spend. So that's one thing I'm working on. I just retired from my flying job full time, so I'm just doing that part time now. So I'll probably let that go full time here in the next year or so, and get much more involved in music. So that's another thing. I'm just trying to keep busy, basically.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. So a lot of people don't know that is what you do. So what was that like?
I was an airline captain for years. I just 65, you have to retire from the commercial airlines, from the major airlines, and so I did that, and I'm flying for a charter company now called Ameriflight, where we carry for UPS. We're like the feeder airline for UPS all across the U.S. and in the Caribbean, Mexico. So I was doing that 2 weeks out of the month. But when you're 70 years old, you look back and say, I'm away 2 weeks out of the month from my wife, and I don't know how much time I have left. So I gave that up full time. I'm just doing it part time now, and enjoying life doing that.
Mm-hmm. So you never flew the family anywhere?
I'm sorry?
You never took your family and flew them somewhere?
Oh, absolutely.
Pilots do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've my wife and I go into Cibo, St. Lucas. She hasn't been to Japan yet. She wants to do that. We've been to Europe, to Spain, to Italy, throughout the Caribbean. I need to do more of that. I really do.
That's a long flight, isn't it? I mean, for you to be flying yourself.
No. This is on the commercial airline. No, this is not. I've never. We're as a UPS feeder, we're not allowed to take. We can take jump seaters, but people from other airlines, other pilots, but we can't take our spouses. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to let them travel for free. That was one of the perks that I do miss, actually, with this company.
That's right. Yes. Now, what would you tell anyone that's trying to get into the business? Do you feel like it's all about age? It doesn't matter, or once you get to a certain age, you just should give up your dream or give up your calling?
No. Especially not jazz. I mean, there's too many people that are going into this at 50, 60 years old, and this their first album out or first recording. And never give up your dream. And the thing is now, almost every musician I know has I don't know if you can see it, but has a in-home studio, a little recording facility in the house. So it's not like it used to be where you had to go somewhere and pay $150, $200 an hour to record a record. Those days are gone. really, I can lay down the tracks on my horn parts here. I can call up Najee and say, hey, Najee, would you be interested in putting a sax part up? Send him the tracks by email. He'll put his part up, send it back to me. I mean, it's a much different day in making records today than it was back in the 80s and 90s. So, no, never give up your dream. What I would tell young musicians more than anything else is to learn the business. Learn about your publishing, learn about writers' rights, learn about Sound Exchange, about BMI, about ASCAP. Those are all long-term sources of income. It's great to have a record out, but you want to be the one, and you want your family to be the ones that are benefiting financially from that record coming out. And the way to do that is to learn the aspects of the business. There's actually a book that's been out for decades called This Business of Music. I'd recommend that for every person intending to get into this business.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. Now, a lot of people are going into country or else gospel to try to get into the business, which seems like it's working. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you really don't, I should say, have a lot of talent with that, because people are just learning to accept people for who they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, again, there's different avenues have different audiences. I mean, country has a tremendous audience. Hip hop and rap have probably the largest audience in the country. So, I mean, if you want to get into the music business, that's a much broader target to shoot at. But you got to go where your passion is. You got to go with what you love. And I mean, if you love playing classical guitar, then by all means, go that route. Don't do something where you're not called to do it.
So you still love classical music?
I do. I was trained classically. I think just as Wynton Marsalis, he relates. He's a fantastic classical player, but he relates more to jazz because jazz is our heritage music. Jazz and blues both originally came directly out of slave song. They morphed out of slave song into different directions, and those were the foundations of those two fields. So my gravitation is more to that naturally, just like Wynton gravitates more to that naturally than classical. But by all means, I will acknowledge he's a fantastic classical player.
Okay. Now, who have you played for that you felt like it was truly an honor, that you was just so happy to play for them to hear your music outside of your audience?
You mean as a band leader or as an audience itself?
Okay, so a perfect example. Say, for instance, if you went to White House and you played there. So who have you played in front of, whether it was like, say, you played for the king of something, and it was like a great honor for you?
Oh, I'd have to think about that for a minute. I've never played at the White House. Probably the biggest honor was playing certain venues, playing Carnegie Hall back in the 80s, or the Hammersmith Odeon over in the UK. These are some legendary venues that it was certainly an honor to play at. I just recently played at Ronnie Scott's, which is perhaps one of the oldest jazz clubs in the world, over in London. And you go on there and you look at the history on the walls going back to the 30s. That's Count Basie and that's Dizzy. Oh wow, that's that'll put you in awe just doing that. So there's numerous venues that I felt honored to play at.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot of great history.
Oh yeah.
So if you had to learn something new, what would it be as far as your music?
Well, I'm always the trumpet is always challenging me. I mean, I've never arrived. There's still times I want to take it and throw it on the ground, and so I'm still I'm always working to try to get better at that. new sounds, new ideas, new ways of approaching songs. You never really get there. You just spend your life pursuing. Uh, so I just kind of take it as it comes, basically.
That's right. Yes. Well, I know that you stated that you are working on some things and as well as new music as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so looking forward to it.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So thank you today for being my guest. Is there anything that you would like to say or add?
Well, just a sincere thank you to the audience. Without the jazz audience, I mean, all we do is stay in our room and practice. It's you guys that help us keep this music alive, and we appreciate them abundantly.
Well, thank you. You have opened many doors. So thank you as well. Yes. Continue to do what you do and many blessings to you.
I appreciate
Yes,
it to you
Mr.
as
Browne.
well.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yes. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you again, Mr. Browne.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.